I just want to develop an idea I was kicking around in the last video, where I was talking about atheism as being a bit like sculpture, how when you consciously disbelieve in something or don't subscribe to an idea, you're effectively creating a kind of conceptually void space in your imagination, kind of God-shaped hole, if you like, which is interesting and attractive, I think, and gives the shape of your life some dynamism, I think. But I'm just staying with that for a moment longer, really, because one of the things that I think there's, in a sense, there are two kinds of atheism, where I'm polarizing them for the clarity of my own understanding, at least. One is an atheism which is an atheism born of genuine innocence and ignorance. And it's the same kind of atheism, I would suggest, that, well, how can I explain this? Well, it's about not knowing something. Like for example, 200 years ago, everyone was kind of ignorant of electric light and television. There wasn't a word for it, but they were electrical, if you like, or televisionists. And for good reason. It didn't feature in any point of their life. And if someone had said to them, you know, hey, I've got this idea, it's a box, sits in the corner of the room and it's got pictures on it, and you can see people move and they talk to you, they would have said, no, I don't believe in the existence of that box. And that's a genuine lack of belief, lack of subscription to an idea, based on genuine, thoroughgoing, honest ignorance. And that's fine. And I think there is probably kinds of atheism which tally into that. There's probably lots and lots of gods around the world that I've never heard of. And I think to the extent that I've never heard of them, don't know anything about them, have no contact with them, I am genuinely atheistic in relationship to those gods. And if someone was to tell me about this god, this Samoan island deity that I've never heard of, and saying this is what these people believe, and this is the ideas they subscribe to, I could probably say with a fair degree of innocence, yes, well, I'm completely atheistic in relation to that god. But I'm not sure if I can say the same in relation to the god of my own culture, Yahweh. And I suppose this is where a different kind of atheism comes in, really. Because I live in England, and England historically has been a Christian country for the most part, which isn't to say that everybody is Christian, but it is to say that a lot of our the structures of our society are based on Christian ideas. We do have bishops sitting in the House of Lords. The Queen is the head of Church of England. We have a Church of England, which is quite a bizarre idea. And you know, the language we speak is completely impregnated with Christian language and phrases from the Bible, thousands of them. So in a sense, as Dawkins points out, we're all kind of cultural Christians. We all have that. And being an atheist in a society in which one is also a cultural Christian, I think is very different to being an atheist in that kind of innocent, ignorant way I spoke about a moment ago. I don't think you can just dismiss it. I don't think you can just say, oh, I don't believe in that then. Because it's not really about belief, it's about subscription. It's about the extent to which there is part of maybe your consciousness, but certainly part of your cognition, which is completely organized around the tenets, the phrases, the discourse, the metaphors, the ideas related to a particular religion, Christianity, let's say. And you know, and the words around it. Apparently, apparently God is one of the three most popular words exclaimed by pilots just before they crash into the ground, alongside fuck and shit, apparently. And I think when you're in that kind of society where it's infiltrated to that extent, it doesn't really work just to simply say I'm an atheist and pretend that you're not kind of influenced by it, because you haven't gone in and looked at these things. You haven't examined how the material substance of your consciousness, the material substance of your cognition is being shaped by these ideas. and how you yourself are using them and shaping them constantly, even though you may not be aware of it. So I think, and I may be completely wrong here, I think to be an atheist in this second sense, which is not about ignorance, it's about wisdom, is about kind of getting to grips with that, kind of knowing what you have to do, knowing what sorts of metaphors and language and discourses and images and institutional structures are being mobilized in the name of a certain set of supernatural ideas, and then actively choosing to discount them, going in there and sort of carving out that piece of the clay to make that negative space. The clay is already there. If you are embedded within a society, as we all are, which has religion in it, as we all do, as all our societies do, then, if you like, the raw material of religious theism, the clay that theism is made of, is already in your mind, and you've really got to go in there and do something about it, shape it, scoop it out, move it to one side, treat it in some way. I'm not sure if I've been at all clear in that, what I'm saying, but I guess all I'm saying is that a simplistic atheism which just tries to say these ideas mean nothing to me because I'm an atheist, and I have no contact with that at all, is a little bit disingenuine. To the extent that we're all cultural Christians or cultural Muslims or cultural Buddhists or whatever, those ideas are present, and it requires quite a bit of effort, I think, to do something about them, to develop some kind of a relationship to them. Just discounting them isn't enough.